today's topic is Jakepaul pimpin' PR. Abso-freaking-lutely. The only question is, to what extent and is the pimpin' mutually beneficial? In other words, is Jake the stereotypical style 70s pimp who brazenly pockets the majority of the earnings? Or is he the modern day image-conscious, politically correct type who reluctantly shares the winnings with the workers? In this case, Puerto Rico. Okay, so in 2021, Jake and Paul decided to relocate to the beautiful paradise of Puerto Rico. Which begs the question, for what reason? The magnificent climate? The beautiful scenery? The gorgeous women? Wait, no, it can't be this one. The lack of federal income tax? Really, Jake? According to reports, if Jakepaul earned $10 million and resided in California, he'd be on the hook for $3.7 million with Uncle Sam. Meanwhile, in PR, he'd pay zero, cero, nada, ni mierda. In his defense, Jake in particular does seem to be pretty involved in Puerto Rico, especially as it pertains to Amanda Serrano and the boxing culture. And seemingly every time you turn around, he's expressing his fondness for his newfound fiscally beneficial home. So the question becomes, is Jake's continuous superlative praise of La Isla del Encanto organically inspired, or a strategic ploy to offset some of the criticism for his geographic monetary opportunism, so to speak? Come to think of it, Jake, being the more cerebral of the two brothers, probably said, "Logan, we are two white boys from Ohio, freely flaunting our financial colonialism in a land where shit can get ugly quick. Granted, we spend 90% of our time hiding in the mansion, but we need to tread lightly. Stop sleeping with the locals." They probably hired a PR firm in PR to address their PR issues regarding PR. Okay, enough of that. So what's in it for Puerto Rico? I can only assume that their presence in Puerto Rico has generated some form of monetary gain for the island. Unfortunately, due to misappropriation and outright corruption, monetary gain for the bureaucracy rarely, if ever, trickles down to the natives. I'd also, however, be entirely remiss to overlook the fact that as much as some Puerto Ricans, including myself, would like to shout exploitation, it was actually PR that willingly evoked Act 60 of the Puerto Rico Incentives Code as to entice wealthy migration to the island in hopes of improving economic development. Wait, hold on, stop for a minute. I don't claim to have a master's in economics, but will the influx of affluent residents and celebrities really and meaningfully affect the island's economics? Or does it do more for Puerto Rico's social cachet and ultimately contribute to classism? And doesn't their very presence, i.e. deep pockets, negatively affect housing prices for average folks attempting to move up the food chain? Not to mention the undeniable reality that affluent folks most often like to keep their distance from common folks. And when the common folks are a different color and speak a different language, so in the end, who's to blame? Or should we be blaming anyone, period? After all, there are a plethora of big-name non-Puerto Ricans who live on the island, and Jakepaul is the only one that I see continuously raising the flag. Okay, full disclosure, I am a Jakepaul fan, and I couldn't even tell you why. I don't really like him as a boxer, but I think he's entertaining, and I think he's a good person, and I love his relationship with Amanda Serrano. And I appreciate as well that it looks like he genuinely does care about the island. Could it be all for show? Yeah, it's possible. I guess ultimately, I don't live on the island, so my perspective is not as valid as you guys. So that's why I would like to hear from you, the residents of the island, people who live there, what you think, and whether or not you think that this migration of affluent folks is ultimately beneficial or non-beneficial for Puerto Rico. As always, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. Big pimpin' spending G's. Big
this mess. Unbelievable.
Come on, guys. Let's go.